Hi, this is Mrs. Coffee, and we are going to do an experiment about pulling a K'NEX vehicle with different amounts of force. So we're going to start out by setting up our experiment. So remember that we want to assemble our materials and have them ready before we start our experiment. So what we need is a vehicle made out of K'NEX, which I've already assembled, and then there is a string with a paper clip that is attached to the front axle of the vehicle. The front axle, the wheels do not spin, but the ones in the back do. Okay, and then we have the string with a paper clip hanging off of it, stretched across the table, and there's a bookend so that our vehicle doesn't fall off the table. And then we've got small washers and large washers. And then we've set up our dry erase board for the experiment. And I want you to go ahead and set up your experiment the same way on your dry erase board. So you're going to make a T-chart. And on the left, you're going to write the number of small washers, start at 0, and then we're doubling. So then 4 small washers, 8 small washers, and the last time we're going to do 16, which is equal to 1 large washer. We may need to go even further and do more washers after that. We're going to find out. And then on the right, we're going to record how did the vehicle move when we added a small amount of force and then a large amount of force at the end. Okay, so we're going to start with the small amount of force, and I want you to make a prediction in your head. So think about if I put one of these small washers on the end of the hook here, do you think, I'm holding on to the string right now, so I'm not letting go of the vehicle yet. Do you think that's enough force, which is the force of gravity here because it's pulling down? Is that enough force to make our vehicle, which is over there across the table, to make it start moving? So now I'm going to try it out. Well, 0 was our first one. Did the vehicle move at 0 washers? We know it did not move. You can see it right now. It has 0 washers pulling it. So we know that our vehicle is not being pulled with 0 washers. It is a balanced force, and there is not a strong enough unbalanced force to make it start moving. So we're going to write on our board for 0 washers. It did not move. So I'm going to write that and then I'll show you. Did not move. Okay, so that's what I wrote for 0 washers. It did not move. And then before I start doing 4 washers, I'm going to just show you what happens when I put 1 washer on our paper clip. Okay, so here's our vehicle, and I am adding 1 washer onto the hook. So it's going to be pulling with 1 washer. All right, so now I'm letting go. Here's 1 washer. Here's our vehicle. It did not move. So we know we're going to have to increase the amount of force in order to make it start moving. So this time I'm going to put 4 washers, 4 of the small ones. So that's what these are. I'm going to put 3 more on there. So I'm going to make sure these are all the same size. So I have 3 more washers. And then I'm going to put those on the hook, and then I'm going to see if our vehicle starts moving. So I'm going to tell you when they're on the hook and when I let go of the vehicle. Okay, so I put 4 washers, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the hook. I have not let go yet. So I want you to predict, do you think that vehicle is going to start moving when I put those 4 washers on and I let go? Remember, let's try it out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let go in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so with 4 washers, there still was not enough unbalanced force to make it start moving. So I'm going to write that down on my board. So I'm going to go ahead and write, did not move with 4 washers. There was not enough force to make our vehicle start moving. So now we're going to put 8 small washers on. I want you to predict if you think it's going to start moving with 8 washers. Do you think that's enough force to make our vehicle start moving? So I'm going to get 4 more washers. So now we're going to have a total of 8. So I have 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put it on the hook. I'm not going to release it yet until I count to 3 so you can watch the movement. So just a minute. All right, so I'm going to show you. I have 8 washers on the hook now. So I doubled. I have not let go yet. So I'm going to show you. Sorry about that. I'm going to tell you when I'm ready to start. And I'm going to release. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so with 8 washers, it moved at a steady pace across the table. So I'm going to write this on the board. Moved at a steady pace. So I'm going to show you what I wrote here. So for 8 washers, I wrote moved at a steady pace across the table, because that's what we noticed happening. So we're going to try it one more time, and we're going to try it with 16 small washers, but instead of putting 16 on there, I know that 1 large washer is equal to the mass of 16 large ones. So I'm going to put 1 large washer instead of 16 large ones on the hook. Okay, so let me get this set up. So first I need to take off all the little ones. And then I'm going to use 1 large washer this time. So a large washer is just that, it's a large washer. All right, and then I need to move the vehicle back. There is nothing on the string right now. I did not put the weight on yet, but the vehicle is down there at the end of the table. And then I'm going to put this large washer onto the hook. I'm not going to let go until I count down from 3 so that we are ready. So first let me move the board out of the way, because we know we're putting more force of gravity on this vehicle. So if it moved with 8 washers, I think you and I both know it's going to move even faster this time. So let's see if we're right. All right, so I have 1 large washer, which is equal to 16 small washers on the end of the hook down here at the end of the table. And then I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, and let go. Okay, so we saw, again, it moved at a steady pace across the table, but it was a little bit faster. So we're going to write that on our board. Moved faster. Across the table. Okay, so you're going to want to keep this data handy when you go to answer the questions on the Google form, because it's going to ask you how many washers it took before your vehicle started moving. And so we know at 0 it did not move, 4 it did not move, but when we doubled that number and put 8 on, it moved at a steady pace across the table. And then we know that it moved faster when we put even more force to pull that vehicle, which was the 16 small washers which equals to 1 large washer. So what we learned is that the stronger the force, the faster the movement will be of our vehicle across the table. A weaker force may not even move the vehicle at all. It may not do enough to move it at all. So the stronger the force of gravity, the stronger the pull, which was the pulling force of gravity, the stronger and faster the forces that will make our vehicle go across the table. So less force, less movement. More force, more movement. I hope you enjoyed our experiment today, and I will see you soon.